Tell me one thing, Burke. You're going out there to destroy them, right? Not to study, not to bring back, but to wipe them out.
That's the plan.
Cut the power.
How could they cut the power, man? They're animals. There's movement all over the place. 5 meters, man. 4.
Aliens. This time, it's war.
I just have to say that reminded me, if you watch American Dad, Stelio Cantos. If you've ever heard his theme song, it's like Stelio Cantos. That's what that reminded me of. Anyway, they say that the sequel can never be as good as the original. So they say, let's start the show.
That's right. You know what he did? He put another record on.
You need dumb people in horror movies. That's true. You do need dumb people in horror movies. Let's find out if we have any in this movie tonight. 1986's Aliens. James Cameron, my namesake. He was named after me. What am I going to do? Ellen Ripley is back, but after 50 years, frozen. That will come in handy, depending on how old you are. I am not alone in this. I need the doctor. I need the executive consultant. Gentlemen, last week we did Alien 1979. This week we're doing Aliens. This is my movie. What do we think? Do we love it? Perhaps I should set this up. All right, little setup. 50 years after the last survivor other than Stromo, who signed out Ellen Ripley, she is found by scavengers, and she is awakened. Unbeknownst to her, 50 years, as I said, has passed, and now they're colonists on LV-624 or 426. I can't remember which one it is. And she is warning them, and apoplectic, because she says, no, we just left there. And they're like, no, it's been at least 10 years, 15 years that these people have been on this planet, and we've never found anything. We've never seen any signs of any face huggers or any extraterrestrials. That can't be the case. Well, lo and behold, they lose contact with the colonists on LV, and they need an expert, somebody who's actually seen these things, just in case. And we're going to destroy it, we promise. And to do that, we're going to send in the Space Marines to make sure everything goes smoothly. Things go awry, of course, because this is called Aliens. So there's not just one black man in a suit. There's many. What do you all think of this sequel to Alien?
This is a testament to corporate greed. I go back to, because I did, I've seen this movie multiple times, and usually I kind of fast forward to the good parts, but I did make sure that I at least saw from the beginning and the, I guess, pretty much interrogation of Ripley by the corporation. And they're like, all of this stuff happened. I mean, it was like, I just survived a horror show, and I'm telling you that this stuff, something out there that's incredibly deadly, and you're just worried about the ship. And then something happens, like you said, it is LV-426. And like, oh, you know what? Maybe she's onto something. We can recoup our money here. Let's dangle a little something in front of her, because we took it away. Let's dangle a little something back in front of her and see if we can get her out there, because we need an expert. We need to secure this money, because if this was she's saying, hey, bioweapons division, we'll corner the market. The colonists, they're probably already there. Who cares? We got to get it, and we got to bring it back. So definitely a testament to corporate greed. And when I first watched the movie, I I mean, I saw it, it's there, it's kind of in your face, but it didn't really click because I hadn't been really in the workforce high enough to see that this is a documentary. I'm telling you, if we found out that there were some kind of an alien bioweapon that we can make, America would have colonists on Mars in 9 months.
Facts.
Okay. Faster than that. Just enough for the gestation of a human. Mm-hmm. We be on Mars getting that thing because our defense budget is more than the next few countries combined. And I mean, it's just incredible to just think back on that and like, oh yeah, this is a testament to corporate greed. And like that's a theme throughout the entire series. It's like, yeah, this is just corporate greed run amok. Are the aliens the real menace? Yeah, I think it's the corporation. Was it I forgot Yutani? I forget what the name was.
Yutani.
Yeah, Weyland-Yutani. Yeah, that's the real menace of this freaking movie. Them and everything they do. Like, if nobody even set foot there, they just say, "Oh, screw it." It'd be no more problems.
Because the aliens not building ships.
they definitely not.
They're not building ships. They're just there laying eggs.
Exactly. So yeah. Well, aside from that, again, as I mentioned in Alien, I love the aesthetic of this movie, of this series. When they touch down with the drop ship, like I love that drop ship. I love also that it is. I don't believe that was CGI. That was an actual physical model. I love physical models in the movies. There's something, more tangible when you've got that physical model. Because even though CGI can be pretty good when the money is thrown at it, there's just something about that physical model that, really puts you into the space, really lets you be able to suspend your disbelief and believe, oh yeah, that's definitely a ship that's flying around. So I love the physical models. I love the design choices. The APC that they were in, I love that design. So I definitely love all of the aesthetic for the Alien franchise. And the action in this one too. I mean, the acting, one of my favorite scenes after the, drop ship comes back and, old boy is like, oh, what's this? And then, girls like, hey, we got to go. Yeah, but there was some stickers that I don't care. Let's go. And then they just die in the ship. And so that crashes. Homeboy was like, game over, man. Game over. Like I liked the, dichotomy between the different, Marines there. He was realistic. It was like, hey, we just saw this crazy stuff. Our ship just blew up. You know what? We're not making out of this alive. And I'm coming to terms with that. So, I thought it was I think everything about this was pretty unique, pretty spot on for the franchise, and an enjoyable watch. Executive consultant. See, you got the alien, the xenomorph right behind you.
Yeah, I'm trying to buy my time here. So let me address some concerns I have, right? One, aliens are going to build ships. 100% they're going to build ships sometime in the next 10, 15 years. They're turn off lights. They can turn off lights, they can build a ship, right? They're the perfect specimen, the perfect organism. That's what everybody keeps saying that has that's data, right? Speaking of data, data's from Star Trek. You know what else I get from Star Trek? This movie. Why? Because they must have had the same composer or something, because I swear I was hearing a lot of Star Trek 2 and 3 soundtrack in this movie as the movie was going on. Especially lots of This movie had a whole bunch of cast that were doing all the tropes of horror and sci-fi villains. People. The Marines act all tough. The woman there, she got to act tougher than the man. Big strong gun. That's what she was doing. Then you had your little thing, person who's scared of everything, act like they're always going to die. I got to see a family. There's so many tropes in this movie. It's ridiculous. Now, I can't say that Umbrella was the worst part of this movie. All right, I can't say that. I personally think it was those xenomorphs. I personally think those aliens, right? Why? Because I've been in houses and places and farms, ant farms that have infestations of bugs. Those are the nastiest things ever. And what I saw in this movie, straight infestations. All those men in this movie, and the person with the biggest balls was Ripley. I see why they call her the first original female action hero, right? Because let me tell you something, little girl, you've been dead, right? You would have been dead so fast when you got caught. I'm like, oh, that's what happens. You might be wondering why I'm playing Strictly Business, because there's only one scene that I could play that's going to describe what I felt like is something that little kid screamed for help. D-E-A-D, dead. Why? Because even though you are one of my favorite characters in the movie, because you have balls and all the men, I can't sit here and justify me going in the nest of those aliens that sees a 20-foot person, 20-foot xenomorph with a sack that's bigger than that ship. Laying all them eggs. And I'm watching it. Oh no, you're frying. And you know what? We did it for the greater good. For the greater good. Did you have something else to say, or you beach, or we're going to go to commercial?
You watch your mouth. Let me jump in here for a little bit. We can come to commercial break and continue with my part 2. But here we go, part A right here. Listen, my co-hosts are never wrong. Let me just add to what they're saying, all right? The doctor called it, and what I like to call it is mandatory overtime. Those Marines were set to go home. They were about to be rotated out. And they got one last mission. It's supposed to be easy. The sergeant, he signed them up for this. It was so easy. You remember my boy Kyle Reese? He was like this.
The drop ship. Yep.
Kyle Reese was asleep. He said, "I'm getting off in 30 minutes. I don't give a damn what kind of aliens they got done. I'm going home, baby." Wrong. Next thing you know, he gets tossed around like a Raggedy Ann doll. People get, I don't know if it's sack juice. I don't know where it is, but it's acid. And they're getting sprayed in the face. Their whole body is getting, they're never going to come back home because they'll be unrecognizable. But I will say this, Chris, you are disrespectful. You don't ever disrespect Ripley and her big ball sack. You don't, more balls than Ruafo in Insurrection, okay? You don't disrespect Vasquez behind the doctor's head right there. Look at that. Let me shout out to this. I just got to play this video because that's Vasquez, okay? Number one, Jeanette Goldstein, you see her in a bunch of camera roles and everything. You don't recognize her. She's such a great actress. I love her in this one. That guy that you see, the actor, forgive me, I don't know the gentleman's name, but I do know this, that in that movie, he's getting pegged by Vasquez because she is definitely beating it down because he is so in love with her. He's willing to do anything. And that's why we see him in Shawshank Redemption later on in the decade because because they have a thing going on. The energy between the two was stellar. The energy, even at 3 years old in 1986, I said, "God damn, my nipples are hard," because the energy was palpable. It was palpable. Can I just say this, ladies and gentlemen? I didn't pass this by my co-host, but I have a new segment. And Chris, you called it. You called it the little girl being annoying, all that screaming. It's quiet time, little girl. You gotta be quiet, or the big aliens are gonna find it. Ah! I said, little girl, be quiet. You see him bleeping on that little thing. Ah! All right, here we go. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I call this segment victim blaming. Newt. It's time to say goodbye. In memoriam, hit it. There you go, Academy. We want to say goodbye to Newt. Somehow she managed to survive. I don't know how many days because they were asleep on the Sulaco. So Newt was over there eating granola bars, drinking her own urine like a G. And she lost all of her sack power as soon as she saw Ellen Ripley because her sack dominated her sack, okay? And she just went out screaming, Ripley, they're gonna get me. Let me tell you something. Ripley is like, you know, when your mother called you, said, "Hey, I need you to take out that chicken from the freezer." And then you hear the key go into the lock, and you realize I've been playing this game for like 9 hours. The chicken is harder than my nipples watching baskets. You knew no matter where you went, Ripley was going to track you down and beat that ass, okay? And that's what she does in this movie. There's nobody. Look at her. She's going into the den against that Queen Beach, okay? Beach, I said beach, ladies and gentlemen. Against that Queen Beach to get that little girl just to put that leather on her because she kept screaming and got them caught. Do you know how hard it is to fight your way through that ship, through that nuclear plant, just to get you kidnapped? Then I got to go save you. Then they kill Kyle Reese again. Oh, Chris, I need a commercial break. Please, what are we doing next?
I don't want to spoil anything. Just do all that just for Aliens 3. But ladies and gentlemen, we got a couple movies coming out. We'll talk more in depth about this and other things coming up. Stay with us. You are watching Unpopular Reviews. Speaking of Aliens 3.
Was there an alien on board?
Yes.
It's here!
Michael thought he had it all. The perfect job and the perfect girl. But before they start their new life together, he'll have to meet the parents. Now, he'll enter their home, but before they can become a family,
aren't you gonna try some of my honey roasted ham?
they'll have to set aside their differences.
So, son, what is it that you do for a living?
I'm a cop.
And learn that love conquers all.
As long as he hitting that spot like he's supposed to, you know, everything is all right. Mm-hmm.
Who made the potato salad?
Did I ask you, Shotty, if you saw Beetlejuice 2 yet?
I don't know, but I have.
How was it?
It's trash.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, sorry.
It wasn't better than the first one, but it was still enjoyable enough for me for the entry to the franchise.
Would you have paid to see it, or would you have stayed home and waited for it to come out for free?
So you saw the movie?
Yeah, I saw the movie. That's why I know it's trash. Where are the Maitlands?
They moved on.
Why not? Hear me out. I don't know. Bring back the Maitlands. Or can we get Otho? But instead, we got Monica Bellucci walking around and literally sucking men dry. Beetlejuice was only in 15 minutes of the first movie. There were a lot of characters that people
and
liked.
now this is more Beetlejuice. That's why it's Beetlejuice.
1991, when the T-800 came back, who was playing him? Was it Arnold?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't anybody else?
It wasn't.
It wasn't a cartoon? And you know what? It was a hit. It was a hit.
But you know what Beetlejuice was about? It was about Beetlejuice. That's what
Beetlejuice was about. Trash and more trash, okay? That's why it's called Beetlejuice twice. It should have been called Trash, okay? And if they make a sequel, it'll be Trash. I didn't even recognize Lydia. She was weak. I felt like I was watching an election. Lydia. I'm just saying, to me, it reminded me of Kamala Harris, how she was getting destroyed in every scene. And I said, this isn't the Lydia I know. She's not winning. She's not strong. And there was this guy, this older man, who was just taking advantage of it, like Biden. So, maybe, Tim, let me just hold on. Tim, I apologize. Tim's right here, ladies and gentlemen. Tim, I apologize. Had I known you were giving us a vision of the future, I wouldn't have called it trash. I would have just said, well, it makes sense when you skip a primary and people don't get a choice on who to get to pick to vote for. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Chris, good edits. Thank you so much. If you watch those trailers for upcoming shows, I think we had Strictly Business, and after that we had Stereotype, aka the Potato Salad movie. So please enjoy those movies when they come up. Shout out to the movie announcer voice guy for not slipping completely into coon dialect. But yeah, thanks for that. For putting us up. Julia White, you say? I'll be seeing that one after I see Sonic. What is it, Sonic 3? On the list. There we go. Sonic. Tonight, though, we are talking about Aliens 3.
Welcome back to our
Aliens, followed by
election coverage.
Yeah, Aliens, followed by Alien 3. When last we spoke to you, we were talking about victim blaming. But we're coming up to the end of our show. We want to move on to favorite scenes, thumb up, thumbs down. Final thoughts, people. What do we think?
I'll go.
All
I guess
right.
a thumbs up for me. I liked this movie a lot. It might be my favorite of the Aliens franchise. Might be. Truth be told, I haven't really disliked any Aliens movie except for maybe Prometheus. But it was really good. I mean, it's hard for me to pick a favorite scene because I like so many scenes. I thought the little girl was very ballsy, as you said, but screamed a lot for some stupid reason. And I thought that Ripley went overboard to try to find this little girl that she decided to adopt because she doesn't like having sex. And it was just amazing to me. And it just was. I mean, the fact that she went around like a badass and kept fighting the aliens and not really being as afraid, even though she would run away, but then decided when the little girl got kidnapped, I'm going to go down to the hive, to the Borg hive, and attack all these aliens, and then looked at the queen in the face and said, "I'm about to burn you and your eggs up." I thought it was crazy to the point where the queen broke her sack, her water broke, to go and chase these people. And this is why I say that the aliens can build ships. They were smart enough for almost anything, including hopping on that freaking that alien knows how to hop on a daggone ship, or where the hell it was called, and hide to then attack them once she gets safely on board to the thing, and apparently left a tree hugger or face hugger on after it also. So it was amazing. But also, like, of course, the scene everybody likes where Ripley gets into the exosuit, and starts to attack the alien, the queen mother. So I just thought it was a very good movie, and it gets a thumbs up for me.
Again, going back to the dangling of the corporate greed, as I've mentioned before, I think Ripley is relatively consistent in her character. But one part that, was like, it might have been a questionable decision, but I can see because, the corporations, they get you coming and going. She had PTSD. When they came to her first, say, "Hey, we want to go to this place because we lost communication." It could be something going. She was like, "Get the F out of my room. I would rather shovel manure than go visit that again." But they dangled that thing. They dangled that money. And listen, we got this corporate money. All right. We can set you up. Dangled that money in front of her. So I'm hoping, I would like to think in my own world that, okay, she was like, okay, I can get my stuff, and just in case they want to play some shenanigans, I can be on board to derail the shenanigans. That's where I'm going to go. For me and for the rest of humanity, I'll do this. But I think that one was like, man, you had to make that decision. And it's a tough one. I don't know if I would be strong enough to make that decision and be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go back, because I would probably be like, nah, I'm just not going back. Whatever happens. So shout out to that. I also liked that scene when the ship crashes and dude just like he's losing his crap. He's like, we're cooked. This is hopeless, because I can see myself there too. As much as I would like to think that I'm going to be cool, our ticket out of here is gone. And these things been cooking our butts. So I like that realism that they put in there. And overall, I've seen this movie a bunch of times. It's never disappointed. Definitely a thumbs up for me.
All right, 2 thumbs up. 1 remaining. Let's see what we get. what we got. Number one, aliens, as the doctor says, would never have happened if she didn't want that CDL license back, okay? Because that's really what they offered her. They said, you can do sanitation work or you can get that CDL license, okay? And they must have been paying buku dollars in the future because she wanted that license back. She had worked too hard for it. Shout out to Ripley, as you say, who had PTSD, but she was like, I got to lock in because it's go time. You know what I mean? And even throughout the whole movie, there are scenes where you see she's shaking. You know what I mean? It's not like she's lost all memory of what happened, but she goes through it and she pushes through it, and I love that about her. The thing that I love most about this movie, I think, is that they have a lot of strong female characters, or characters who happen to be female who are strong. I put up Vasquez before, you know what I mean? And Chris is right. They have these archetypes, especially with the Marines, of people that you see in action films and horror movies and everything like that. And we call them tropes colloquially, but that is true. But I will say that the characters are fleshed out to the doctor's point, and Ripley very much so. It's a three-dimensional character, well-rounded, flawed or not. And I like that. And I like the fact that they just happen to be women. They don't make a big deal about it. I have this clip here I just wanted to show where it's a beautiful setup of an ability that she has that they have peppered throughout this movie. And we know that she's capable because we saw that she was a lieutenant in the first movie. And here it is just shown again, something that will come into effect later on in the movie, and where she has to literally use her skills to save the day. And again, it's not like other movies that are made nowadays, which are message heavy that people complain about, but it's so well done and it's so true to the story being told that you go along with it and it doesn't seem forced to you at all.
Where you want it?
Bay 12, please.
And for those who haven't seen this movie or saw it and didn't pay attention and think that those two men are laughing at her, no, they're laughing because they say, look at her, go ahead and get it, because there are other female Marines there with them as well. But to that point, she's just been some quiet, nutty woman, you know, talking about aliens that nobody has ever seen. But here they smile and they rejoice together that she's capable. This is going to be a fun trip. Our last hurrah, so to speak, not knowing that it's going to be their last hurrah. James Cameron did something that very few sequels are able to do, in my opinion, which is at least meet, if not surpass, in people's eyes, the original that they're based off of. And he's done that twice. Okay? This one and Terminator 2.
T2.
You got to give it up. You got to get that 3 thumbs up. It's a thumbs up for me.
Outstanding. Or hoorah.
Hoorah. Oh, you already did the thumbs up, Chris? Oh, okay. What do you see? Somebody, is there an alien standing up there? I didn't know who you're looking at. No, here we go. All right. Well, for me, for the doctor, for the next executive consultant, for Ripley's big ball sack, we thank you for joining UPRE. Please tune in next time for that potato salad movie. I hear it's won a lot of awards at the, the BET Awards? That sounds about right. We thank you for joining us. Tune in next time for, as we said, Alien 3.